How's everybody doing? My name is Don Wizzy. Welcome to my channel. Alright, I hope you guys could hear me. I'm not sure how this is gonna come out. I know the light is might be a little dark, but I hope that you guys could hear me. I'm over here in the hotel room, and so I was just watching well, like I said before, I do the snake diet and I follow Cole Robinson, and I was just watching some of his videos that I haven't watched his videos for a while, and I just watched like two of them, and man, this guy's like awesome, man. Cole Robinson's like this guy is amazing, man. So anyhow, I want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing, and so this is what so I, so for the people that have probably watched my videos, um, they've you know on my on past videos I talk about how money is useless, right? How like money really isn't gonna make you happy unless you're healthy, or because there's a lot of people that have a lot of money, but they're really a lot of times they're either fat and unhealthy, or they just or people that that their main concern is to make money. A lot of times these people are really unhappy. So I'm actually going to talk about like my personal experience, because like I always say, everything that I talk about is from personal experiences. It's from experiments that I do, right? So I'm actually in a hotel room right now, and and like the only thing I have is this cell phone that actually I a cousin gave it to me, and that's like the only thing that I have of like value, because like it's crazy. So that's why I'm actually going to talk about what I've done in the past, like in the past like 2 months. Like I've just been doing like a whole bunch of crazy things. So I'm going to start from the beginning, right? So I'm a chef, right? We're a line cook, however, I went to culinary school. So I've worked as a chef, line cook, whatever you want to call it, for the past, what, like 15 years. I've been working in yeah, just in restaurants, cooking, and and all that type of stuff. So recently, I live in Colombia, right? So I was living in Cali, and actually I had a decent job, right? And I had like a nice apartment, with basically everything, electronics, appliances, internet, all that good stuff. It's like a two-bedroom apartment with basically everything that a person would need, like just normal stuff, just a nice apartment. I had a nice job, a motorcycle, all that good stuff. I was actually making like okay money, and it came to a point where like I didn't like it was just like I wasn't like totally unhappy, but it's like I didn't understand. It's like it's like I have a good job, I'm making good money, I have a nice apartment, and I wasn't like totally satisfied, and I didn't understand why. Right? I was like, oh man, this is crazy. So I quit my job, and then I actually moved to I moved from a nice apartment to a bedroom, and then I was at the bedroom where I was staying at, and like it was actually like a cheap room, like out in a ghetto, like it was like a ghetto neighborhood, and and still like it I wasn't like satisfied. So so then that's when I went homeless, right? I actually, and it's like it wasn't necessary, because I do have like family, right, that can help me. So on my own initiative, like I went homeless, and I actually enjoyed it. Like it was fun. Like I was actually living out on the street, and it was like I enjoyed it. Like I had so much fun just fasting on the street. Like it was great. Like I enjoyed it so much. And then the other thing is that like back in the day, I had uh I had drug problems, right? Like when I was younger, I used a lot of drugs, and and that really like taxed me. It came to a point where well, I mean, I grew up in the U.S., right? Like I grew up in Philly, and then I also lived in like Florida. But then from so much drug use, like then I ended up getting deported. So I got here to Colombia, and it's like a new country, and I was all strung out on drugs. And then, just a whole bunch of things happened. So I ended up joining Narcotics Anonymous. And then, actually, in Narcotics Anonymous, it really helped me to stay away from drugs. So, so basically for the past 6 years, I've been, well, I was clean from drugs, right? And then it got to a point where I was actually at a nightclub with one of my friends, and it was like, and it's like I saw him, like he wasn't like a drug user, but he would drink beer occasionally, and it like got to me, and I was like, what? I was like, there's people that drink beer and like their life isn't all fucked up. So that night I ended up drinking beer, so I relapsed, and then I wanted to do an experiment where I actually used. All right, so that night I drank beer, and then like a few days later I was like, no, fuck this. Like I don't think that. I mean, I know drugs are hazardous or poisonous or whatever, but I wanted to do an experiment where I wanted to prove to myself that I could actually do drugs and not be addicted to it, because that's what like the Narcotics Anonymous tells you, is that you're an addict, right? So I don't know, like I just did the experiment, and so I actually used drugs like for the past, well, actually for the yeah for like the past month, for like the past 2 months, I just like I actually been using drugs. And so what I'm really trying to say is that I do think that, and I made a video about the hormetic thing, and I actually believe that you that I'm not trying to promote drug use, but I personally believe, and I experimented on myself, where like it came to a point where I actually did the experiment. Like let's say like and fasting's involved too, because I know that fasting can cure like so many things. Like like, and then I've seen it. Like like I'm a snaker, so I see like the things that happen, and and I also follow like Jason Fung and all these people, and I've read books about fasting, and like like it's obvious, like you can reverse diabetes. Like there's like so many things that fasting, like I honestly believe that fasting can cure almost anything, and I've seen it. So knowing all this, I did an experiment where I used drugs, right? Like let's say weed or whatever, and and I would fast, right? Like so let's say like today I would get high and drink beer or something, and or yeah, like let's say I would fast all day, and then I would have a refeed, and have like beer and like let's say weed along with my refeed, and then I would go train the next day. And I actually, like, I did it on myself. Like I felt the it's like a hormetic response. Like I actually felt stronger the next day due to the use of the poison, which would be the beer or the weed or whatever whatever it is. And I actually, and this is what I want to do, like on a channel, because I have evidence of what I speak. And for example, like I've seen people like that actually, like down here it's called bazooka, right? It's basically like crack. So it's like people that are, I mean, in mainstream words, they would say like these people are hooked on drugs, or people that actually use like hardcore drugs like crack or bazooka, whatever you want to call it. And these people are actually healthy. Like I have a guy in Cali, and I'll like record him. Like this is actually what I want to do is I want to start interviewing people because everything that I talk about, like I actually have evidence of it. So what I'm trying to say is that this guy, right? This dude's like this specific certain guy. This guy's like a bodybuilder. Like he works in the food place where the guy basically carries like the food from the trucks. Like it's a really heavy job where you have to have a lot of strength to do this type of to work in this type of to do this type of work, right? So this guy's like he smokes crack every night, and this guy's like healthy as fuck, like really healthy. Like you could just see it, like it's obvious. Like this guy's built, like he has muscle. Like this specific guy that I'm talking about, he's like a muscular type of dude. He's at a good weight. Like he's just fucking healthy, and the guy smokes crack, right? So this is where I came up with another conclusion that it's all about discipline. So there are people that are really fucking healthy and use drugs. And for example, I have other friends too that I don't want to mention. These people use drugs, man, and they're fucking healthy as fuck. And why would that be? It's basically a hormetic response because I'm not saying that drugs are good. Drugs are poisonous, but if people use drugs at a certain yeah, you know, like if they use drugs with discipline, it can actually be beneficial is what I'm really trying to say. And I've done it on myself. So, you know, I don't want people to misunderstand me. Like, I'm not trying to promote drug use. I'm actually on a cleanse right now. Like, today's my third. Yeah, today, like, I've been clean from, cause this past month, I've been using just beer and weed because I believe that even though it's poisonous, it can be beneficial. But it is poisonous though. Like, every time you use drugs, it dulls your mind. Like, you know you'd be better off just staying clean. You'd be a lot sharper. So that's what I'm on right now. Is I'm I'm on a cleanse, right? So and I'm gonna continue my cleanse. I want to do maybe about 90 days clean from all sorts of well basically from beer and weed, which is what I've been using. So I don't know. I mean, I know I said a lot of things. I've been on here for like 12 minutes, but I know I just wanted to do this, man, because I have a lot of things coming up on the channel, and like I don't want to like ruin the surprise, but uh, but yeah, you know, like I want to talk about all these things, man, because people are fucking like I see it all the time, man. How people hate on let's say like on drug users, and you know, it's just a bunch of things, man. And I honestly believe that there's no such thing as an addict, even though you know, like I freaking like I'm going to NA meetings right now, but I believe it's all about discipline. So I'm actually, like I said, you know, everything that I talk about, like it's not just like, I mean, it is my personal opinion, but I can back it up with evidence, and that's actually what I'm gonna do. And another funny thing that you know that catches my attention is like there's like Breatharians, man. Like at first, like I know that most of them are just lying, but there are some that actually are like they do, you know, that they these people fast for like so long, and you know, and these people are amazing, man. So you know, I wanna go dig deeper into that subject as well, and and even vegans, man. Like I mean, I still like I believe that we're carnivores, right? That well, I mean, it's like so obvious that the only thing that really nourishes us is animal protein. So it's like a whole bunch of subjects that you know that I wanna talk about, and like I said, like I'm actually like I actually have evidence of all this. So right now I'm staying at a hotel. Like I don't have money. I'm just like I want to get my life back together. You know, I want to start working. You know, rent an apartment. Like actually, all my belongings got like lost. Like the only thing I have, well, I actually have like a desktop computer at my aunt's house. But even like I had like laptops and I just lost them. Like I had a bicycle, a really nice bicycle that I spent a lot of money on. Like that got lost. Like I have my motorcycles at one of my boys' house in Cali, so I have to get that also. So I'm just starting to get my life back together. And yeah, like I said, like I went homeless for like I like I'm staying at a hotel now, but I basically went on the street like homeless for like 2 months. And the reason why I did that experiment is because I wanted to prove that, and it's so true. Like money really doesn't make you happy unless you have other principles, which I believe that I now have. And I'll talk about that further. I mean, I'll talk more about that too. And I believe it's three things. It's basically a mental thing. Like there's like three main things that I believe. It's the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. And in fact, I'm going to talk about the spiritual thing too. And because I know that in one of my videos I talked about how religions are crap. Well, I believe that religions have a lot of flaws, but it's normal, like we all mess up. But I believe that religions are a way, it's like an instrument to get closer to that higher power. Which, and the God thing, how people are always talking about God. Well, I call it my Father above. I guess that other people call it God, which that's another part that I want to talk about. I actually found that, that like higher power revealed itself when I was homeless, because I didn't understand it. Like I actually struggled with that for so long, and now I understand it. I even understand religions now, and I'm not religious. Like I still think that. I'm not gonna say that they're crap, because that's what I used to say. I used to say that religions were bullshit. Not necessarily bullshit, but they do have a lot of it's kind of like people, like religions is basically like people trying to give an explanation to basically to those higher forces, but it's basically men trying to explain something that's so divine that so it's basically like men trying to like that's how religions are. It's just man-made words trying to get you to believe in a higher power, which if you really think about it, it's unnecessary. Because once a person knows, once that higher power has revealed itself, like you don't have to be like in a church or none of that. Like even though like the Bible and all that stuff, they're holy scriptures, but it's man-made scriptures, and because it's man-made, therefore it's not totally valid, and it has flaws. So that's the reason why I say that religions are crap. But I actually take my words back. I don't think that it's total crap. It is a way of getting closer to that higher power. But I personally don't. Like I'm not part of any religion. So I'll even talk about that further, like in some other videos, because that's another like complicated subject. But what I'm really trying to say is that yeah, that you don't have to be in a church to be spiritual, and actually spirituality is a lot different than, like, let's say theology. Like, I still think that religions are, yeah, man, like I don't know, man, these religious people, like it's like they're so like, it's kind of like they try to manipulate the higher power, and that's why I say they're crap, because there's a lot of religious people that they're always like just talking crap, man, and they're like a lot of times these people aren't really doing what I don't even know how to say it, but I'll talk about it more further in some other videos. But really, what I'm trying to say is that you don't, what I said before. If you honestly believe in a higher power, you don't have to be like going around talking about holy scriptures, because it's unnecessary. Sorry, I believe this is like my longest video. I'm gonna end it, but anyways, I do have a lot of interesting content coming up, and so just so watch out for my channel. That I'm gonna do a lot of interesting things, and thank you everybody for watching. My name is Don Wizzy. Have a wonderful day.